Weiwei, when you say in your book, The China Wave, which has sold more than 1 million copies globally, that it's, quote, unimaginable that most Chinese would ever accept multi-party democracy, I wonder, are you speaking on behalf of the 1.3 billion people of China, or are you actually really speaking on behalf of the 25 members of the ruling Politburo?
Well, it's really a common sense assessment. And actually, the greatest misunderstanding about China is about the Communist Party. I use equivalent something, the Chinese Communist Party would be very similar to an amalgamation of all major political parties in UK together. In the end, they reach consensus and work on consensus.
You've claimed that liberal democracy would be, quote, miserably wrong for China. Is liberal democracy miserably wrong just for China, or are you saying it's wrong for everyone?
I came to a humble conclusion. A non-Western country adopting Western political system usually ends up in two scenarios. Either euphoria to despair, or from euphoria to anarchy.
How do you feel the Japanese feel about that, or the Indians, or the South Koreans, or the people of Taiwan, all of whom are in non-Western societies and happily enjoying liberal democracy? Of varying degrees, but liberal democracy essentially.
In the case of Japan, its industrialization was not achieved under democracy. It's under imperial ruling system. With my respect, a lot of respect for India, I've been to India many times. You look at the gap between India and China. We start at a similar level. Now, China economy almost 5 times bigger. Life expectancy 10 years longer.
That's not what you said. You said that if you embrace non-Western democracy, you end up in anarchy. India's clearly not anarchy. India's actually only second to China in terms of poverty reduction. It's had a very good record of poverty reduction. It's lifted hundreds of millions of people out of poverty. Yes, it's not doing as well as China, but it's not in anarchy, is it? It's perfectly happy switching governments.
Either two scenarios. The other, Libya, Iraq, Afghanistan, Haiti, Liberia, the list goes on.
Yeah, although those societies are based on kind of foreign invasions and interventions. Whenever around the world dictators are toppled, people take to the streets. Have you seen any protesters anywhere in the world say, give us the Chinese system? How come it is that the rest of the people in the world don't seem to agitate? They do agitate for democracy, even in non-Western societies like Iraq, like Libya.
Agitated also by the Western media, which is still predominant in the world. But it doesn't matter. We believe the model cannot work in other countries, the Western model.
And here's my question. If the Chinese model is as good as you say, brings about competent leadership, why not trust the people?
We trust a lot of people. Yes.
A lot of people.
That's true.
Well, 1.3 billion people, you could trust 100, that's a lot, but it's not a lot
It's more than the combination of total people population in the West. China's performance is better, arguably, than all the rest of Asia combined over the past 3 decades, especially on issues of greatest concern to the Chinese people.
You say China is distinctive. I think you talk about a civilizational state. Tell me what that is.
It refers to a case where you have the world's longest continuous civilization amalgamated with a super large modern state.
Okay. If your argument is China is too distinct, too different, too non-Western to be democratic, how do you explain Taiwan? Taiwan, which you regard as part of China,
yes,
they perhaps don't, 98% Han Chinese, compared to China, which is 92% Han Chinese. So it's even more Chinese than China.
That's true,
Multi-party democracy, free press, 5 times the GDP per capita ahead of China. They're doing fine with democracy in Taiwan.
Another figure.
The civilizational state hasn't stopped Taiwan from being democratic.
Taiwan has a population smaller than Shanghai. 23 million.
Okay.
Do you know how many Taiwanese live, study, work in the Chinese mainland? 1.5 million.
Okay.
So it calls a vote by feet. As simple as that. I mean, Taiwan is a typical case of failure. You just look at the polls, how disappointed people are.
Chinese government's legitimacy, in your view, is based on the fact that it's a meritocracy and that it's growing the economy at a record pace.
That's one of the main reasons.
Let me ask you this then. Do you accept, for the purposes of argument, if growth stops, then the Chinese government's legitimacy, the Chinese model, is gone?
No, I don't think so. The point is, don't forget, the People's Republic of China is not East Germany. It's a product of 22 years of armed struggle. And after 1949, 2 wars with the United States, Korean War and the Vietnam War. Without general people's support, this kind of wars cannot be.
And are you ruling
One.
out? And are you ruling out democracy in China, liberal democracy in China, forever, or are you saying at this stage in our development it's not something we want? Maybe down the line.
No, we know West 10 times better in general than the West know about China. We have about 3 million students studying abroad, 2/3 return.
With respect,
abroad.
that wasn't my question.
Yeah. As a result, we really look beyond the Western model. We have found so many problems.
Okay, so
Your
I'll
model.
take that as a no.
You have your strengths.
Okay, so I'll take that as a no. You're not a fan of it even in 50 years'
We
time.
transcend this model.
Why are there so many cases then these days of high-level corruption, high-level incompetence? If your meritocratic system is so strong and the basis for your legitimacy, how do all these bad apples get through the net?
Well, actually, if you look at the history of the rise of major powers, including UK and United States, when you experience the high and rapid economic growth and explosion of wealth, corruption also goes up because supervision, the legal framework cannot catch up with the progress of wealth. But gradually, things will improve.
Without a free press, for example, a totally free press, how can you hold a government to account? It's totally arbitrary. The state, the party decides who is and isn't corrupt.
Compare China with other major large developing countries, transition economies, Russia, Ukraine, Egypt,
But why compare
Brazil.
with those countries? Why not compare with Western countries? You just said you're going to transcend the Western model. According to Transparency International's corruption index, which I'm sure you're familiar with,
Yeah.
China is ranked as the 80th most corrupt country in the world, behind every single Western liberal democracy, including poor old Italy.
No, China is a huge country. It's equivalent to about the size of 100 European states. In every European state is about 14 million. We have 1.4 billion. If you compare Italy or even UK with developed part of China, I'm pretty sure Shanghai does much better than Italy.